WCW Road Wild, 1997. Boy, there's a lot to get into here. We got title matches, we got horseman drama, NWO drama, a new world champion, and all of this hoopla surrounded by thousands of people wearing leather and nipple piercings, and I don't even know if they're aware that a wrestling show is happening right in front of them. We're back in Sturgis, outdoor biker convention, WCW pay-per-view. What could go wrong? A lot. And we'll get into it here on the Apron Bump Podcast.
The hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can knock this. Let's get started.
What's up, everybody? What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Apron Bump Podcast. I am your host, the hardest part of the ring, Kyle. How is everybody doing today? Start your engines, folks. Start your engines. I guess that's NASCAR. That's not like motorcycles. Motorcycles do have engines, so I'm not wrong. But I don't know if that was the best. I deserve that. It's like I'm in Sturgis. I'm inhaling all of the fumes. It's called method acting. Ever heard of it? Anyways, Road Wild, 1997, is what we're here to discuss today. A pay-per-view given to us from the World Championship Wrestling. We are here August 1997. WCW is red hot, ratings, attendance, all the merch, all the NWO stuff, all over the wrestling world. They're hot, not just, maybe in 1997 metrics, but they're hot in the Apron Bump's hardest promotion battle of 1997, which continues this episode. We'll talk more about that at the end of the episode. But currently, if you're not familiar with the hardest promotion battle of 1997, which, are you living under a rock? Come on, good golly. But it's where we pit WWF versus WCW versus ECW at this point in time. So as of August 9th, 1997, we see which promotion is currently doing the best so far in 1997. As of right now, the scores: WCW is in the lead with 29 points. ECW is in second with 25 points. WWF is in dead last with only 4 points. Where do these points come from, hardest part of the ring? What is the scoring system? We'll get into it. Don't you worry at the end of the episode. But whoever has the most points at the end of the year will receive a purchase of a championship belt from yours truly, of a championship belt representing that company. As you can see behind me, the Intercontinental Championship. WWF was hardest in 1996. Who will be hardest in 1997? Well, you're just going to stay tuned and find out. We're going to look at the best, the worst, all that stuff, in ring, out of ring. We'll touch on it all. We'll grade the show. But before we grade the show, we got to talk about the show. Come on now, folks. Road Wild had, look, I'm not going to mince words. It's not a good show. It's a very bad show, I would say, maybe. Is it a bad show? It's definitely not a good show, but is it a bad show? Or is it a big show? Well, I don't know. Let's talk through it. If only we had a medium to discuss it in length and in detail. Oh, wait, it's a podcast. That's what we're doing here. So we'll get into it here. But the world title, by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that myself and Juice Springsteen from the Juicebox podcast, former guest of the Apron Bump, we did a little watch along of the Nitro preceding this event. So the 100th episode of Nitro leading in to Road Wild. We did a full watch along of that Nitro, and it was a very significant one because it was where Lex Luger defeated Hollywood Hulk Hogan to become the new WCW champion. Shocking. It was hype as all hell. And I watched it for the first time along with Juice, and we watched the entire show. We watched everything. There's tag matches, cruiserweight matches. There's a lot of stuff there. So go check that out if you have not already. I'll try to remember to link it in the description, but if not, it's on my YouTube at Apron Bump. So go check that out. That was a hoot, but it was a big nitro leading into this event, and we're seeing if Hogan can reclaim his world championship that he lost to Lex Luger, with the rematch occurring in the main event of this show. We also have the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, defending the tag team titles against the Steiners. Long time coming. Will the finish, will the match itself, will it justify the build and how long we've been building to this? You're going to have to stick around and find out. We got cruiserweights. We got tag teams. Harlem Heat's here. We got Chris Jericho versus Alex Wright for the cruiserweight title. A lot of stuff happening on this show. And we get into it all. Who's we, hardest part of the ring? Well, it's myself and Mr. Fretz from the Fretzlemania podcast, returning to the show. Always a great time with my boy, Fretzel Daddy. Go check out the Fretzlemania podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. He gets into the retro stuff as well. A lot of similar timelines, but he gets more in the weeds in terms of like the TV shows. So he's kind of in a similar part of the timeline that I'm at here. But he'll touch on the Raws and whatnot. He's in deep into Undertaker and Kane lore. Wait a minute. There it is. He's into all of that lore, and it's a very entertaining time in wrestling, and he has an entertaining way of giving that out to the universe. So go check out the Fretzlemania pod. He touches on that. He gets into, some older stuff. I was on an episode back in the day where me and him covered Starrcade 1990. He gets into some ruthless aggression stuff, all sorts of fun stuff there at the Fretzlemania podcast. So go check that out. Give him a subscribe, a follow, a kiss on the cheek, a slap on the ass, and check out all of Wrestle Addict Radio, which is where his podcast falls under. A lot of good people over there. Kings of Rings, Young Lions Perspective. They get into it all. But hey, while you're just following people, give me a follow as well at Apron Bump on all the social medias. I've been putting up a lot of YouTube exclusive content, so go check that out. Some watch-alongs, some other shortish videos up there. So go subscribe to the YouTube if you're not already. All of this is in video form if you're not familiar, and it's also in audio form if you're not familiar with that. Join the Discord. Plugs. Put that plug right in my ass until nothing comes out. Hey, why don't we just get into the episode, shall we? WCW Road Wild, 1997, with myself and Mr. Fretz from the Fretzlemania podcast.
Oh man, I thought that was gonna be what you're just gonna set off through in the whole show, like the motorcycles, right?
I actually looked for motorcycle sound effects, and there's, for whatever reason, there are no good ones out there. Tell me if you could hear this.
Oh yeah, very much.
So that's the best one. I need an abrupt. If I took more time to edit something together, because I need to be I don't want to hear starting it up and priming the engine or whatever these people do with their bikes. But this will have to do. Hold on. This is how we'll start the episode. Start your engines, Fretz. Come on now.
Revving it up, baby. Let's go.
Having a lot of fun. So you actually, you wanted to talk about this show specifically. We've been planning this for a while now. And I have to ask there, Mr. Fretzel, why the fuck did you want to talk about this one?
Honestly, this was a few things. This was a rose tinted glasses thing, because Road Wild 96 was one of the first wrestling VHSs I ever owned.
Mm-hmm.
And and this one for a second, I thought it was the Jay Leno one, but that's next year, so we can probably put a pin in that one. Kevin Eubanks getting involved, Karl Malone. I thought I liked the aesthetic of this, but as I watched this show, a couple good matches on here, but everything just took away from it. It was very insert sound here. Very distracting.
It's not like normal wrestling crowd with motorcycles. It's motorcycles instead of crowd noises. So it made for like a weird kind of atmosphere. I agree.
And it was kind of free. They were day drinking there all day. And from the big aerial views they had with the helicopter, it looked like someone's back 40. It looked like it was a CZW Tournament of Death. And I could see them or GCW pulling off an event like this in the middle of a bike rally.
You know, now that you mention it, I think Lex Luger versus Hulk Hogan would have been better had there been light tubes. Thoughts?
Definitely light tubes. Maybe David Arquette is somewhere floating around.
Yeah, you know, he's a deathmatch guy, like for actually. So that could have worked.
Well, there is a death match in air quotes on this show, and it was we'll get there, but it was missing some death. That's right.
Yes, hardly even a match, really, if you're gonna be honest. But no, yeah, so 96 was a good show. Hog Wild 96. I thought that was a pretty good show. That being said, though, the atmosphere does leave a little. I like it when it gets to the last couple matches and the sun starts to set and the darkness and you can see the lights over the ring. Like the last couple matches, I really loved the aesthetic, but the crowd was pretty lacking. Maybe it's because, I don't know, they're at a bike rally, not for a wrestling show. And there just happens to be, it's kind of like Bash at the Beach 94. I don't know if you've seen that show where it's like they put a ring on a beach.
Yeah.
Anybody that happens to be there can watch it. To me, because we'll get into it. Obviously, I did not like the show. I think it felt to me like they leaned too heavy into the atmosphere. They're like, let's be at Sturgis bikes. Oh yeah, the matches. We'll figure that out later. We'll do something. I don't know. Maybe a title change here. I don't know. Death match, sure. Mexican death match. I love it. And it's like, I don't know, none of the matches really felt. There were a few okay matches, but on the whole, I was not a huge fan of this one.
This was just an excuse for Eric Bischoff to use his PTO.
Yeah. So you're saying he was not there?
Well, no. This was just an excuse for him to use his vacation days. Like, let's go to Sturgis. Hey, while we're there, Mr. Turner, could we possibly bring a couple of 18-wheelers, a production truck, a bunch of lights, and a bunch of cameramen and some more people to put on a show for a bunch of complete strangers in a town like Sturgis? Like I was listening to the commentary. Sturgis is a town of under 10,000 people. And then at Bike Week, the whole country just envelops. Like I live on Sauble Beach, and it is like the second largest freshwater beach in Ontario, one of the biggest tourist destinations in the summer, along with Wasaga Beach, Grand Bend. It's all along the same lake. No, I don't know. The Wasaga is not, but Grand Bend is down a little bit further down Lake Huron. So it gave me vibes of where I live. And
right.
Yeah, it was something else. But we'll get to the matches that I actually enjoyed, but my goodness, this is a rose tinted glasses moment. I'm glad I'm glad I watched it because I get to see your lovely glistening face.
Oh, stop it, you.
And talk about some pro wrestling.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, we turn the show on, just to set the scene here. We got again, Sturgis. So we're outside. We're in this little field that happens to have a ring set up. It has like a little platform with a ring on top of it. Like, I don't know how many people, hundreds of thousands of people, who knows, surrounding the ring. Some are watching the show, some are not. I mean, it's a beautiful backdrop. You got the mountains, the trees, the sun. It's a little silly in the beginning. The daytime feel was a bit weird in the beginning, but you got Dusty Rhodes and Tony Schiavone wearing cut-off denim vests, which I thought was a great choice. I don't know what the hell Bobby Heenan was wearing. Was that like a tuxedo he was wearing? Bobby Heenan?
I forget. I didn't note down what he was wearing, but it was just some random outdoor gear. I think Bobby maybe even around this time was slightly phoning it in, but you couldn't tell because he was ever the consummate professional.
I feel like he's still in it. I don't think we're at the downslope yet, personally, but I don't know. Maybe this is the beginning of that. But first match, starting off hot with Harlem Heat. Do you get it? Harlem Heat versus maybe my favorite tag team name of all time, Vicious and Delicious, the team of Buff Bagwell and Scott Norton, with Vincent, of course, because this would not be complete without Virgil. I didn't mind this match, actually. I know I just shit on this show as a whole a lot, but this match I didn't mind at all. It was just a meathead match. Harlem Heat, Scott Norton, Buff Bagwell, just a bunch of steroided up dudes shoulder blocking each other and power bombing each other. I didn't mind this one. What'd you think about this?
I thought this was a good meat slapping match, or as you eloquently put it, cameraman. Exactly.
That's my guy.
It's that one, and I just put down, wait, is Booker T from Texas or Harlem? And these are the artists formerly known as Cole and Kane, because I did a WCW show when they were known as that. Speaking of Kane, cheap plug, Kane is Alive is literally this week's episode of my podcast. So by the time you hear this, I'll have Paul Bearer saying, "Kane is alive, Undertaker. He's breathing." Yeah. I cannot do as good an impersonation. Yes, that's a good one. Willie T from Kings of the Rings does a good one himself. I just wrote down here that the chopper view here overhead it reminded me of someone's bush party.
A bush party. Tell me what a bush party is.
Well, I grew up around a lot of farms and farmers. You just have a big ass party in someone's back 40. Hay bales, lawn chairs, bonfires.
Wait, their back 40 has a bush? I think we're getting. I know you're a little older than me, but my back 40 has no bush.
Well, you see, back in the day, kids, we didn't have things called manscaping. Wait a minute. Hang on. No, just, farmland, trees, but yeah, just a bush party. Nick Patrick's mullet, among many other mullets in here. The revving chopper. Okay, what's worse? Revving choppers or obnoxious chants?
Let me think about that for a second. I think
this is awesome.
I wouldn't want revving choppers every show, but for one show a year, I will prefer the choppers over the "we want tables." Of course, every day.
We are awesome. Yeah. Okay. Wrestling fans, if you're trying to put yourself over, no.
Preach.
No. Jacqueline made her presence known here. I think she was either already the manager of Harlem Heat, or this was her WCW return debut.
So I don't know where exactly in the timeline, like what happens after this, but I know here, like Sherry was with Harlem Heat, and I think this is the first show without Sherry, so I don't know if she's gone from the company or what, but it seems like Jacqueline has been brought in to kind of replace her. At least that's what I'm getting here. But Jacqueline was here already with Kevin Sullivan, but Kevin Sullivan lost a retirement match to Chris Benoit, and now Sullivan's no longer there. Therefore, Jacqueline's, I guess, a free agent of some sort. So now she's with Harlem Heat. That's what I ascertained from this.
Okay, I didn't get to watch any of the Nitros ahead of this. I just watched the show. I finished watching it like sometime last night. Jackie putting foot on the ropes. Just absolute shenanigans here. And but I thought Buff. I wrote down here, Buff hit a really nice powerbomb in this match. I thought it was very crisp. Much like Scott Norton's beautiful shoulder break.
It is a thing. Scott Norton is one of my guilty pleasures. He's just he's not great, but I just enjoy watching him in the ring, just throwing people around, hitting other people really hard.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Fire and Ice, him and Ice Train.
Yeah, I wish they had a longer run though.
Yeah, well, a new world order was coming to an effect there. Now I watched
Yes.
Kyle a certain cut of this show that might feature things that you may not have seen on your cut. I
Ooh.
downloaded this completely legally. If you're watching,
Hello, LimeWire. Shout out.
oh man, Kazov, man, come on, all the
Napster.
oh, I remember Napster. I also remember
Did you
having
watch the show on Napster?
yes. I also okay when Napster was going through the quick sideberg here. When Napster was going through the lawsuit and all that, thanks to my favorite band Metallica, you had to intentionally misspell things. So I was looking for Blink 182, and it would have been Blunk 425. You'd have to spell something like that in there.
Right.
You'd get your results. We had Ted DiBiase and the Steiners in the WCW Wrestling.com chat room with some bloke typing on a laptop about what Ted is speaking. Did you catch any of that?
I watched it. I didn't really listen, but I saw it for sure.
Okay. And I'm guessing here they were in these chat rooms asking ASL. Did you go to any chat rooms back in the day? And did you ask ASL?
I didn't.
Do you know what ASL is?
Yeah, anal suction lubrication, right?
Age, sex, location.
Yes. I was on kind of the back. I mean, I talked to friends in chat rooms on AIM. I didn't go into like random. I didn't go into Rob Feinstein chat rooms and talk to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
I'll pretend you're 18, lol. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And then
this guy knows what I'm saying.
You put in 6 inches plus. I don't know. Anyways,
yeah.
3. Anyways, but
gotta get it right
on a good day.
Yeah, no, it was. If it's a full moon out, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
yeah.
No, I mean, this opener was good. Like you mentioned, Jacqueline makes her presence known, allows Harlem Heat to get the win after Booker T hits a Harlem sidekick to Norton, and then Jacqueline holds Norton's ankle down as Booker pins him and gets the 1-2-3. A solid match. I feel like the tag division, I don't know, maybe it gets better, but I feel like it's just a glaring weakness in WCW with the we'll talk about it later with the Outsiders as champions and how that's all more of, it just feels more like a prop than, I don't know, but I think these are two shining stars in the tag division, I would say.
There are tag teams in the company. They're just not being used. I mean, High Voltage, Faces of Fear. Yes. I can't name any other off the top of my head besides the one that
the Canadians, the amazing French Canadians. Of course, how would you not? How is that not the first team that you name?
I thought the Quebecers were back in the Fed. No, it was before No Way Out. Okay, yeah, I thought they were back in the Fed by this point, but it was a few months later.
Right. The Nasty Boys maybe are still around. I don't know what they're doing.
Maybe.
They might be gone.
I know Barry Darso, Hole in One. Barry Darso. I don't know if he was tagging with anybody. Great gimmick, by the way. Hole in One, Barry Darso. Steph's kiss. Getting my OSW boy stable right now.
Yeah. They're no Kerwin White, but that's a whole other topic, I guess. But yeah, the Steiners backstage. I guess you would call it backstage. They're just in another location, talking to some nerd on the laptop on AIM, ASL, like you mentioned. I don't know why the Steiners were there. I mean, Ted DiBiase was kind of talking on their behalf. The Steiners are both shirtless for some reason. Gave me weird vibes. I can see why you would think this was cut, but nope. Peacock left this bad boy in for some reason.
Okay. We also have some hotline plugs later in the show, too. So maybe we kept them. 1-800-909-9900.
Oh, of course. Gene having all the scoops. But speaking of scoops, got a couple scoops right here. We got a Mexican death match on our hands here. Conan versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Hey, what are the rules to a Mexican death match there, Fretz?
Well, according to Professor Mike Tenay, who joined commentary for this match, it was just no DQ. That's it. There was no standing 10 count. It was not like the Texas death match we saw last week with Hanger and Mox, but that one.
Texas and Mexico are different.
A little bit, depending on how far south you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the death match, like say Vader versus Cactus Jack from Halloween Havoc 93, 92, it had a standing 10 count after the pinfall.
Right. ECW did the same thing with Sandman and Cactus Jack. Yep.
And this one is just no DQ. And going through the rest of the match here, there was no reason to have a no DQ stipulation here, unless you count the not breaking the submission after Conan tapped out Ray to the Tequila Sunrise.
Right. But then the match is over, so the rules don't really matter at that point.
Exactly.
So,
well, you can reverse the decision on a submission like that. Like I think, Bob Backlund or Bret Hart had a match like that.
Yeah. That sounds about right. No, that's a good point. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, there was no real reason to have no DQ. They didn't make use of that at all. I guess there were a few, because most of this match, I guess first we should bring up the backstory here. So Conan, I can't remember if he was in the NWO at the last pay-per-view or not, but he's there now,
He
black and white.
The B theme for the NWO slap.
Yeah. Well, no, I know here he was. I can't remember if he was at the is it Bash at the Beach, the last one? I guess he was at that point. But he beat up Rey Mysterio on Nitro a few weeks ago, injured his leg, and this was his way of like earning his colors, I guess, with the NWO. So that ingratiated him with Nash and Hall and all them. Rey Mysterio comes back a few weeks later. He's on crutches. He gets in the ring. He confronts Conan. Oh, Bob's your uncle. He fakes him out. Doesn't need the crutches. Drops him. Smashes Conan with him. And now we have this match. And of course, these guys, Conan got Rey into the business basically in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of history here. But Rey still kind of has the bum leg a little bit. And that's what Conan targets in this match. And it's a Rey Mysterio match. Like, we want to see the springboards and the flips and shit. But this match was like 99% Conan locking in a leg lock on Rey Mysterio. It's just like the psychology of it made sense, but it made for a boring as hell match to me. I don't know. What did you think about it?
I mean, given the participants in this match, I was expecting it to be a little bit better, but
Same.
Going on what you said with working the leg here, I thought it was psychology wise, it would have been okay. The 187 DDT Tequila Sunrise. There's a line here. I think it was between Dusty and Tenay or someone, but where the big boys play, not just for size. So size doesn't matter. Yes.
Yes.
What has happened more? Rey Mysterio injuring his knee or the Big Show turning heel and face?
So Rey's injured his right knee at least 9 times, right? Or whatever the number was, I forget. In my left knee. Probably Big Show, because I mean, even at this point, if we're counting Giant's turned at least like 2 or 3 times already. So
he's been Dungeon of Doom, WCW. He hasn't joined the NWO yet.
Well, he did.
Oh, for a bit.
I think he goes back.
Then he flip flops and then turns face again before he comes to the WWE. So it's already half a dozen by the time WrestleMania 15 comes around. Tenay here.
Unfortunate.
Tenay is making the fundamentals fun because he is just giving everything its props in this match. I mean, if you know his commentary in TNA, he knows all the move names. He knows
he's a great third mic, by the way, Mike Tenay.
Oh, he's great, underrated, fantastic commentary. He knows the history. No wonder they call him the Professor. He is damn good at it. Mean Gene got a tattoo, Kyle, and he didn't remember how it happened.
Yeah, that's a suspicious one. I feel like we could have a whole podcast discussing the conspiracy behind that.
That's a dark.
I think it was a real tattoo. Shoot tat.
Could be. I mean, that could be a Dark Side of the Ring for season 7.
Mean Gene's tattoo. Entire episode. I like it.
I mean, I think they are running out of ideas, despite the fact that this past season was phenomenal. Like Muhammad Hassan. My God.
Yeah, that was a great one. But yeah, Mean Gene has it was like a heart. It was roses in the shape of a heart with like a sword through it or something.
Like the classic, you'll get one right there that'll have like the heart and the sword and mother or
Right.
whatnot. But,
Yeah, I was about to say, just needed mom in the middle, and that would
exactly.
perfect.
The WCW hotline, me and Gene's like, yeah, there's 2 new managers in the company, and one is a former champion. Who is it? Well, call 1-900-909-9900 to find out. $1.99 per minute. Did you call any of these, Kyle? Like the WWF hotline or the WCW?
No, this was a little bit before my time. I mean, here in 97, I am 4 years old. So I was not calling any. I think the hotline thing kind of died off by like probably not long after this. So not to me. Did you?
Once I called, like, I think it was before Survivor Series 97, because there was a lot of scoops going around, especially with, with Bret Hart leaving. The Patriot was injured, and there was a bunch of people that were allegedly going to be in Survivor Series, particularly part of Team Canada and Team USA, like British Bulldog and Furnace and LaFawn, and it was supposed to have someone else, like a guy, like a football player from the CFL, who actually made his debut at a house show I went to following that. But that's a story for when I do Survivor Series 97 later this year.
There you go.
We're both on like the same timelines across.
Yeah, tag teaming it. Little Eiffel Tower action. The listeners can just get in between us and rotisserie chicken that action.
Yeah, Twin Tower that. I mean, never mind. I'm canceled.
As long as I'm not Waylon Mercy. So do you know who these two? Mean Gene says there's 2 new managers in WCW. One's a former world champion. Do you know who these are?
I'm trying to think, because DiBiase had been in the company for a year at this point.
It's not Bob Backlund, is it?
No, Backlund. I don't think he ever crossed over. Like Bob Backlund at this point, he would have still been managing. Like the Sultan was still on TV, so he would have been managing the Sultan. And like, although
I think it's just Sheik, or Iron Sheik. I think Bob faded off.
He was too. He was. They were.
Well, I know at some point he was, but I think eventually Bob faded off. I don't know, I think the Sultan's on its last legs, anyways. So who knows? But
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is gonna. I might have to have a think on this and come back for a different WCW show.
Call in if you know who these 2 men. I mean, maybe, man, if this hotline was still open, we could just call that. I guess then it's an effective thing, huh? But after that, we got a little Horseman drama on our hands here. We got an elimination tag team match. A team of Dean Malenko and Jeff Jarrett with Deborah taking on the team of Chris Benoit and Steve Mongo McMichael, representing the Horsemen here. So for those who need a catch up, Jarrett had a cup of coffee in the Horsemen, but him and Mongo didn't get along. It eventually boiled over. Jarrett, Mongo, they had a match at the last pay-per-view, I believe. And Deborah turned on her husband to align with Jeff Jarrett. And Dean Malenko was kind of rumored to be the new Horseman, but then Jarrett kind of came in and was like, join me, buddy. And then Dean's like, all right, I don't care. I'm just trying to wrestle. So that's kind of how we're here. Yeah. So this match, other than the Jarrett elimination, this match didn't really do a lot for me. But did this one tickle your pickle?
That Jarrett elimination was something else, and God rest his soul, but Mongo McMichael in the ring, just unintentional comedy, but in an endearing way. I mean, he tried his ass off out there, and there's going to be a couple of times when I'm going to be shouting out to wrestling bios on YouTube, and he endears Mongo himself, and I just immediately, when Mongo was here, it came to mind a quote that he did with the British Bulldog, don't just stand there drinking coffee when a man's talking to you, Davey boy, and just slaps him across the face.
He is fantastic. He's appropriately rough around the edges in the ring and just hella entertaining on the mic. So, he's great. Love Mongo here.
I mean, I would have loved it if he faced Bam Bam at WrestleMania 11, because he was more he had charisma out the wazoo, and this guy had the gift of the gab. And it's unfortunate, in a cruel twist of fate, that later in life, near the end, he couldn't talk. exactly like
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan was the same way, different disease, but the same cruel twist. Amazing exchanges between Benoit and Dean in this match. You get these two in the ring, or any iteration of the Radicals pairing up. They're gonna have a great match. Mongo has loud Lex Luger selling. Like, he screams when he does everything. He screams when he bumps. Now this is where I noticed that the Vuvuzelas were getting involved. The stupid air horns.
Right.
Mongo
They're bored, I think. So they had to make some noise.
And drunk. I mean, they've been day drinking since like 10 a.m. by this point. Mongo had a nice power slam. Jeff Jarrett basically eliminating himself by like forcing Mongo on top of him to get.
I mean, just the way he did it, you could have, like, why wouldn't he just get in the ring and do a Bash at the Beach 2000, right?
Exactly.
And just lay down. Maybe he's scared that Mongo is going to beat him up when he's on the ground. But Jarrett gets in there because Dean is getting beat up for the first like 5-10 minutes of this match. And then Jarrett finally gets that tag, gets in there, gives a jawbreaker to Mongo to stun him, and then pulls him on top of him in a very uncomfortable way. Like, he's like grabbing the back of his head, like, get on me, pee on me. And then so Jarrett gets eliminated by himself, basically. And I don't know what the point of him being in this match was. What the point of this match really at the end of, like, this all felt tedious and pointless to me.
This is setting up Mongo versus Jarrett at the final Clash of Champions that took place a couple of weeks after this.
Is it a Mexican death match?
It is a Chicago Bears jersey on a pole. Death match with LT as a special guest referee.
I can't tell if you're even kidding. Like, this sounds like a thing that probably happened.
I mean, of course I'm kidding. Vince Russo wasn't in the company yet.
Oh, okay. All right, that is a good point. Because that sounded like a thing that could have happened. But I guess we're not quite there yet. What's your point?
If Mongo was there in the year 2000, because they had a San Francisco 49ers match with the titles in the box and the box bottoming out, and
right,
yeah. Benoit with a lovely tombstone here, and then Mongo tags himself in and says, "I'm going to show you a real pile driver," and gives him the Mongo spike, and Dean gets squashed in this match.
Yeah, because he gets beat up a lot in the beginning, and Jarrett skedaddles because it's an elimination match, remember? So he's out of there. So now it's just a 2-on-1 handicap match, and I'm thinking, oh, this allows Dean to kind of show some fire, show some resilience. Maybe he'll like eliminate one person to maybe lose right at the end, but no, it's just like, all right, well, we'll kick the shit out of him for like 5 more minutes. We'll both give him a tombstone, Benoit with a headbutt, and Mongo makes the pin. And then bing, bang, boom, see you later, Dino. And it's like, what did any of this accomplish?
It accomplished setting up Mongo winning the U.S. title from Jarrett. And it had to come at Dean Malenko's expense.
But then why would Jarrett not want to beat Mongo here? At least get some licks in.
Because he's a heel.
I guess.
Motherfucker.
I sometimes forget that Mongo is, I guess, at least he should be like the babyface here because he had his wife stolen from him.
Well, he is the babyface. Jarrett's a consummate heel.
Yeah, but Dean's kind of a baby. I guess that's why he turned on him. I don't know. It's all loopy.
It's confusing. Like the NWO, they're technically heels, but they're over as hell.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong about that. But the Horsemen win, but we're not quite done with them yet, I guess. Well, it cuts to like a little, I guess, vignette, commercial, pre-tape something of a bunch of shirtless wrestlers on bikes. Thoughts?
Yeah, these are your WCW wrestlers on the way to Sturgis and totally not on a Mario Kart track. I say that because I have Mario Kart World on the mind as I've been playing that nonstop since it came out.
I see. Yeah, it's no luggage or anything, just cruising down the highway.
Life is a highway. I'm gonna ride it all night long.
Shout out!
And there's and just note the absence of traffic because they're probably going down I-1 whatever express I-95.
Well, it's South Dakota. I mean, how much traffic is that? But it is Sturgis, so.
I mean, once you in between Lincoln, Nebraska, and Denver, Colorado, is little tumbleweeds.
Right.
So go a bit further north than that, you might get pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, don't know. But what I do know is that we got a cruiserweight title match on our hands here. We got Das Wunderkind, Alex Wright, the champion, the new champion, taking on the challenger, Chris Jericho. We had Chris Jericho beat Six to win the cruiserweight title, and then we had Alex Wright beat Jericho on Nitro to win the title. So we got a rematch here. The juxtaposition of Alex Wright in a biker rally, like he comes out in the most obnoxious neon green tights, and of course the dance, the music, the leather jacket. He's German, he's a twink. And he's just gallivanting around here in the dirt amongst all the leather and motors around here, like just like
big bro.
There's probably some unsavory things yelled at Alex Wright, I imagine.
He did. I heard it.
Yes,
it's a slur that I'm not going to repeat here, but yeah, big bratwurst. Alex Wright, again, shout out to Wrestling Bios, or mini cocktail sausage. Oh wait, that's never mind.
That's Austrian, I think. But anyways, pretty good match here. I mean, it's a very weird kind of when I think of WCW cruiserweights, I think of like Psychosis versus Rey Mysterio or Dean Malenko versus Juventud. This felt like a very grounded version of a cruiserweight match. But there was some fun stuff. Like athletically, probably the best match of the show, I would say. I don't know if it's my match of the night per se, but I didn't mind this one. What'd you think about it?
I got a kick out of this match. Alex Wright is just, again, unintentional comedy. The guys, again, Wrestling Bios, another term of endearment there. Jericho coming out to the Girls and Cars, All of the Days theme, Willie T's favorite entrance theme that he would often use as the Kings of the Rings outro a lot back in the day, using that for myself. So in a way that would become like my entrance theme on Wrestle Addict Radio in a way. There's a big sign of the crowd. Alex Wright is the man. And that's either Wrestling Bios coming through a time loop or me coming through a time, or get in my OSW boy stable right now. Yeah, and this is again, I already did this Rey Mysterio Big Show a bit, but this is where Mike Tenay says, oh, by the way, Rey has a severe sprain in his knee. He'll be out of action for a little bit. I thought Jericho and Alex had some great chemistry in this match. Alex Wright's an underrated worker back in the day. He could go, and you get a young Chris Jericho who by then was almost a ring general, almost a veteran.
Oh yeah,
they put on a good match, and Alex Wright with just a nice little handful of tights counter. He hangs on and he dances the night away.
It was a very simple finish here, countering an O'Connor roll into one of his own. Like you said, handful of tights and gets the 1, 2, 3 and skedaddles. So Alex Wright gets the win here, and yeah, I mean I agree at both. I mean, Jericho's still very early on. He's not even heel Jericho. He's not even the 1001 hold guy Jericho. So I think he's approaching that maybe sometime soon.
Very close. Like by late 97, early 98, we would have like Jericho and Ralphus. It might be my favorite iteration of Jericho other than The List or heel 08. I never got to watch a lot of that run because I was in college, but that might be
heel 08 Jericho is probably my favorite personally.
That might be a future. If I'm still podcasting in like 4 or 5 years, that might be a future one. But
when I get to that part of the timeline here in like 2047, I'll have you on.
Hit me up. There's a quote by, I don't know what commentator it was, but it was these bikers identify more with a guy like Jericho than a man who wears key lime tights and dances. Yes. You're at the wrong biker rally then today. Like seriously, man.
Yeah, it's It's not good. I mean, there was some fun offense in this match. The double power bomb by Jericho is always a hoot. The lion salt to the back, some dives to the outside. Alex Wright just bouncing all over the ring like a jumping bean. But he does like this, just a stomp from the top rope, but he like leaps 50 feet in the air to hit Jericho with it. Like, I agree. He's super talented guy. He's really done nothing in wrestling really since the end of WCW. I was hoping we'd get an appearance at Bash at Berlin. I was really hoping for an Alex Wright appearance, but it was not to be.
As Berlin.
Bring the wall's not around anymore, unfortunately.
But you had a USA chant for a German and a Canadian. Actually, Chris Jericho was born in dual citizen. Yes, he was born in Manhasset, New York, because his father, Ted Irvin, was a New York Ranger when he was born. We get it.
Well, I think last year they also had a USA chant for Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis. So I think that's just their way of being like, fuck both these guys.
Well, Rey Mysterio is from San Diego.
I think he was born in Mexico, no?
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay, Dr. Google. Let's get this one go live on the air. Oh, Rey Mysterio, American.
Here we go. I'll do some
born
I'll hit from the other end.
Born in Chula Vista, California, United States.
That sounds like Mexico.
San Diego is right on. I've been to San Diego, right? So every couple of kilometers, we were stopped by people to have a look in the back of my friend's car.
I don't know what a kilometer is.
Oh God. Metric system, you tools. Oh.
I'm looking at his Wikipedia, looking at some of his names he used to go by. El Nino, La Lagartilla Verde.
El Nino. Speaking of Chris Farley.
Come on now. But yeah, so Alex Wright gets the win here and dances his way out of there. So I was a big fan of all this, big fan of all of it. When I was looking at the card, the match that I think I was honestly looking forward to the most was this one, Syxx versus Ric Flair. Ooh. And it was fine. It was a lot of Syxx. It was very similar to like the Conan Rey Mysterio match where it just felt like a lot of rest holds, and then it was starting to kick into high gear a little bit, and then it was over. But it was a fun little showcase for X-Pac here on a pay-per-view against Ric Flair. I don't know if that's a testament to what they see in Syxx, like in a good way, or if it's a testament to Flair maybe coming down the card a little bit, but I thought this was fine. I thought it was mostly pretty boring, but the finish was hilarious, so that kind of made it up for me. But what did you make of this little ditty?
Bobby Heenan. No man will ever be a 13-time world champion. Laughs and John Cena, Randy Orton. How many times world champions Triple H? Like at least 12.
Yeah.
Oh, hindsight.
Yeah, so
that boot
Barack Obama?
the Bronco Buster miss right in the sack, right in the X sack. How is that a DQ? And the dirty pin. What a baby face.
It's not a DQ.
Because
he didn't do the move. He was just standing there, and X-Pac threw his balls and dick at Ric Flair.
So this was a North Carolina death match. Okay.
Yes, you can passively low blow, but you cannot actively low blow. It's in page 272, column A, article 57 of the wrestling rule book. So column if you want to consult that.
Damn.
Yeah, you're notorious for ignoring that one. So
oh yeah,
I'm here to set you straight.
I thought column A was column EH because Canada.
That's right. Metric. I forgot to take that. You probably have a different set.
Yeah, we do. It's like when the Quebecers beat the Steiners to win the tag titles in '93. It changed hands via disqualification, and that was a Quebec rules match, which also features a 5 count. So Big E was definitely taking notes.
Yes. That just put a sour taste in my mouth for a match that we have later, but we'll get to that. But no, yeah, Flair counters the Bronco Buster by just putting his foot out, and then stacks him up, feet on the ropes. Just a classic Ric Flair victory. Yeah, it was, I guess all in all, a pretty harmless match, but it was a pretty forgettable one, unfortunately. But that brings us to DDP taking on Kurt Hennig. Mr. Perfect here. I believe his singles debut in WCW. The way I describe how I felt about this match, it was a very solid match, but I found it hard to care about it or get invested in it. Like, it was good. The work was good. For whatever reason, I just couldn't get into it. What did you think about it?
It was the same. Like, you got two great workers in there. You know, Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, is coming off of his Lloyd's of London money. Because he could have,
Yes.
he came into WCW, a couple of months ago?
Yes, like maybe 1 month ago. Very, very recently.
And he couldn't, it's much like Rick Rude, Lloyd's of London, he couldn't wrestle yet legally. So when you finally got that exchange out, you were expecting a lot, and then realizing that, you know, Perfect would only be on Earth for about 4, 5, 6 more years after this. And you can't tell by looking at him, because he was still in decent shape. He was still bumping his ass off, using the towel as some kind of choke or some kind of weapon, landing a natural selection like his beautiful float over neck breaker that he does, that Charlotte does now. It's gorgeous. I love DDP's Legally Distinct Smells Like Teen Spirit theme as well.
It's not at all similar. I don't know what you're talking about. It goes dun 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 dun, not dun 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 dun.
Okay, so it's taken the Pachelbel note into effect. Okay, there we go.
Correct. Yes, very good.
This
poor ref, man.
Abuse.
This ref
Randy
got his ass kicked.
Was it Randy? Because there's another ref who takes this match. He just takes like 2 insane bumps. Because DDP goes for the Styles Clash, the pancake, whatever you want to call it, and his legs flailing. This prat falls like. Was that Randy?
Well, that was the second bump. I think it was not Nick Patch. It might have been the bald fat one. What's
Randy Anderson or Brian Hildebrand, I think, was suffering through cancer at this point in time, so it wouldn't have been him. Yeah,
I think Randy Anderson was as well.
It could have been Randy.
But he was still reffing.
Oh yeah, he was powering through it.
Yeah, because the first there was one point where DDP he lays out Mr. Perfect or whatever, Kurt Hennig. He pins him. Hennig kicks out. DDP flies off of him and rolls onto the ref, which is just hilarious. Whoa! And then he knocks out the referee somehow by doing that.
And it's Mark Curtis. I wrote down Mark Curtis.
Mark Curtis. That sounds right. And then, like you mentioned, well, actually, first the ref gets knocked out the first time. Perfect takes this opportunity to rip the turnbuckle pad off, and I think this is like early. I don't know how long they've been doing this spot where you rip the turnbuckle pad off, but this felt very early on in stages because it took a while to actually take it off. And then when he did get it off, he just took DDP and smashed him on it. There wasn't like a block and then he gets hit like there is every time nowadays. It's like, no, all right, it's off. There you go. Boom. It just felt very like nice and simple. I liked it. Perfect plex, 2 counts. So that was a pretty good near fall there. And then we get what you were referencing, DDP going for the pancake. But Perfect's foot clips the ref. Ref goes toppling. And Ric Flair comes in out of nowhere, comes off the top rope. But DDP blocks him. Hits Flair with the diamond cutter. Then Hennig capitalizes on the distraction with a perfect plex to old Dallas. Ref makes a miraculous recovery. Counts the 1, 2, 3. So Perfect gets the win here, and I guess we're teasing a Horseman involvement for Mr. Curtis here. So I guess, I don't know, we'll have to tune in on Nitro to find out. But yeah, I guess it was a solid match, I guess.
I think there's a blow-off between these two at War Games Fall Brawl next month.
War Games.
Yeah. William Regal was in the company, so he could have There's another WCW hotline plug. This time it's about who Raven's first opponent is going to be in WCW, because Raven had just made his debut, and they also talk about Steven Richards.
The King of Swing, of course. Of course. So we'll just have to call that hotline and see who his first opponent will be. But before Nitro, before we get to that, our next match, Randy Savage, the Macho Man, taking on the Giant. The Giant. Still no music by Giant. What do you think about that?
I was expecting the Dungeon of Doom theme to start playing, because that was his theme even following the Dungeon of Doom, but it doesn't add to any aura, as the kids say, or any aesthetic for the Giant, like, at all, which is why I also think it would have been okay for him to join the NWO, because that way you have entrance music and you don't have Handsome Doc Hendricks singing the "Well" part of your theme quite yet.
It's it'd be cool if like people cheered when he came out, but it's a really weird situation when Giant just walks out to no music and everybody's like, "Oh, it's the Giant, sweet."
It's Christian.
Few revs. That's exactly what this was. But honestly, if we're talking like by a per minute basis, perhaps my match of the night right here. It was a fun little sprint of a match. This couldn't have been more than like 5-6 minutes. Macho starts with a sneak attack, immediately tries to body slam Giant for some reason, but the Giant, of course, crumples him. This allows Giant to throw Randy around a little bit, some slaps, some chops. Macho eventually hits Giant with a chop block to the front of the knee, which looked brutal, taking it out of Mongo's playbook. It attacks the legs for a little bit, of course, because why wouldn't you? But ultimately, Macho comes off the top rope for a double axe, gets caught, choke slam city, bing, bang, boom, 1, 2, 3. Giant gets the win, and when Giant got the pinfall there, then the motorcycles were, you heard it. It was actually a pretty cool way of, it was a pretty cool atmosphere when he got the win. Everybody kind of seemed to be into it, so felt like we were cooking at this point. But yeah, no, a fun little match, I thought. What'd you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was a nice little squash match there. You know, Macho Man's trying to do the double axe handles, try to get the big man off his feet. This is your classic Davey and Goliath, your classic big man, small man. You're trying to chop the big boy down, but you don't have the right axe handle, literally. One choke slam, and that's how you put over a finish too. It takes one showstopper to put down even someone like the Macho Man. Big Show picks up Liz to get out of the way so I can hit Randy. Right. There is a pickup line in there somewhere, but I don't have it. It is not there. But it is what it is. It was a pretty decent little match there.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. The choke slam being pretty protected is back in a time when finished matches. It was pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. But that brings us to our co-main event. The tag team titles are on the line. We got the champions, the Outsiders, of course, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, defending against the Steiner brothers with Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase, he's seen the light. And he's quit the NWO and has aligned with the Steiner brothers to kind of make good on his past mistakes, I guess. I don't know. It kind of felt like a random twist to the story. It didn't really seem to be any like crescendo, decrescendo to it. Is all of a sudden Ted was just gone one day, and now he's here with the Steiners or whatever. They're trying to make something out of it. Do you remember that, by the way? Does anything come of Ted being with the Steiners, or does he go back to the NWO? I don't really know where we're at here.
No, he stays with the Steiner brothers up until they split in a little while. Then I think Ted he quietly fades away from WCW.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, he's not much longer for the company, I don't think.
Unfortunate. But we got the Steiners here and maybe the best entrance of the night, if nothing else, because at this point in the night where it's dark, it's dusk, we got fireworks coming out with the Steiners. They come out on the motorcycles. Pretty sweet. And we got the classic NWO entrance, of course. So this felt like a big time match to me. I don't know. It's again, there's nothing like technically bad with the match, maybe outside of the finish. It felt like it just lasted forever. It felt like the NWO just had heat on Scott Steiner for what felt like 30 minutes. And while I'll grant it did make me yearn for the hot tag, which I guess is the idea, but then it just ended right after that. So I don't know, but I don't know. What'd you make of this one?
It was very anticlimactic. Steinerized is a banger entrance.
Steinerized.
But my lord, look at the lyrics for this song.
Tell me.
It's biographical for one thing. It just tells them about their life. It's like, there's a verse about them in high school and university. They don't use drugs and they're always on top, apparently. It's right in there in the lyrics. The dogs are barking.
Rick strikes me as a bottom, but continue.
The dogs are barking, and Braun, he's barking from the womb because he would be born 2 months after this.
Oh, so we got a little Braun on the earth, kind of.
A little Braun. He's floating around in Mrs. Steiner's womb right now. Steinerized. Yep, it's about Michigan. It's about Michigan, the Steiner Lock, whatever that is, the top rope DDT, the Frankensteiners in here, Michigan University. It's a biography in a song.
Are these all the lyrics of the song? I've never really sat back and listened to it.
Google that one right now, but I'll start you off with a little bit here. I'm not going to take all of them because it's a long song. Here's the story of two brothers.
I'll get the instrumental. I'll have you sing the whole thing, I think.
I don't know how it goes, but here's the story of two brothers, Rick and Scott. They don't use drugs and they're always on top, but hide the time of their ability. Okay, this lyric site is pretty shit. They take on all corners, no matter what size. There won't be any question when you get Steinerized. Then it talks about high school and Michigan University after that. It's a trip.
Man, if I am motivated enough, I'm going to create like a remix of that song with your lyrics. We'll see. We'll see if that comes to fruition, though. That'll be fantastic. I love it. I love to see it. But yes, so they're beating up on Scott for a very long time. It's like at one point I was like, how many goddamn times do I need to see this Kevin Nash foot choke in the corner? I was like, we got it. You're tall, big legs. We got it. But then Scott eventually makes the tag to Rick. Rick causes havoc for maybe like 5 seconds. They hit the Doomsday Bulldog onto Scott Hall, makes the pin, but Kevin Nash pulls the referee before he can count to 3. So, and the sequence of events is important. So they hit the Bulldog. Rick covers Scott. 1, 2. Nash pulls Nick Patrick out. Nick Patrick gets back in the ring, calls for the bell, and the Steiners see this and they're like, oh, he counted 3. We fucking did it. You were standing right there. You saw him. He didn't count 3. He's clearly calling for the DQ for Kevin Nash pulling him out, which was the case. So the Steiners, they're celebrating. Oh, we won. We're the champions. Oh, wait. No, we're not. This was DQ, and we're not in Quebec. So we are not the champions. Ted even gets in there with the titles. He's like, yeah, we did it. And then Nick Patrick's like, no, pal. Sorry. So very, very deflating finish, I thought. What'd you think about it?
Nick Patrick is an NWO sleeper agent at this time.
Is he now? Because he was a part of it, and then is currently not a part of it, but you're saying he secretly still is a part of it.
No, well, we're building to him being the NWO's referee, because I think is it Nick Patrick or Eric Bischoff that has a match at Starrcade? It was Bischoff. It was Bischoff and Zbyszko, but Nick Patrick was very instrumental in the finish of Sting and Hogan controversy, if you will.
Right.
Work for me, brother. I think he's teasing it around here. Then he sees the light maybe around the time like they splinter with the Wolfpack. He's definitely a sleeper agent. A lot of bullshit chants. I mean, the crowd.
Yes.
Finally, there was something that the crowd was invested in. Well, besides the main event, they were definitely invested in this because it was the NWO. You wanted to see Hall and Nash finally get their comeuppance because they've been the tag champions for. Have they flip-flopped it between the Steiners a few times by now?
So they faced off at Sold Out in January or February, and we're here in August. They had that match where the Steiners won, but then Eric Bischoff stripped them of the titles the very next night on Nitro. I forget exactly why. I think there was like a wonky type of finish. So I think they've only flip-flopped once at this point, but the Outsiders have been champions for the better part of a year at this point, which is crazy considering how many tag teams they got on the roster and they're just holding them hostage, it feels like, but I don't know. So kind of, sort of, they flip-flopped them a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, this one just smells of shenanigans.
Yeah, as it is very classic WCW, and tune in on Nitro to see what happens with this. But I get it's all about the chase, but at some point, like, you're gonna drag it out long enough, we're gonna stop caring about it. And no, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Hopefully, Vicious and Delicious gets their hands on the titles at some point. I'm holding out hope.
Oh, please.
You know what I'm saying?
Or even I'll even take High Voltage.
I love High Voltage for no reason. I love big meatheads that are bad wrestlers is my favorite genre of wrestler. They're just so like ball, so love them.
And their entrance theme is their entrance music was literally like exactly. It's better than TL Hopper's Toilet Flush. I'll give it that.
Yeah. No, it was hold on. Their entrance. Let me look up their entrance here real quick. Let me see if
zapping. Insert zapping. Like I was playing Mario 64 before we got on here, and it's like the zapping sound when you touch the electric treasure chest, the wrong treasure chest in that Dire Docks level.
Oh, of course. Their entrance theme is
yes.
Hell yeah, brother. That even might be too hype. That's more hype than their actual song was, but
that's more hype than the Hype Bros.
Whoa, Hype Bros. Let's bring them back. What are they doing? Nothing.
Cardona's an Impact, so
speaking of lackluster, we got a world heavyweight title on our hands here. We got the WCW championship on the line. The new champion, Lex Luger, defending against Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Main event. Michael Buffer's here. Dumb hat. He's got a Stephanie McMahon hat.
I have a hat like that, and it's better.
Of course you do.
You got old big Goldie on the line.
Oh, I thought you were grabbing the hat, and I was very excited.
It is in the other room. I cannot go grab that right.
I'll just superimpose it on your head. Post.
It's also my Instagram. It's in there.
Yeah. I love it though. I love it. There's no NWO spray painted on it though, so you must have gotten this replica in the 4 days that he was champions.
You know what? Niagara Falls Comic Con 2018 was in that sweet spot.
There you go. I like it. So we got Hogan. So the 100th episode of Nitro, Lex Luger faced Hulk Hogan. This is the week before. In the main event for the world title, and Lex Luger gets the win, a shocking win. Dethrones Hulk Hogan after a long time as champion. But now he has to immediately defend it here, just a mere 5 days later, in the main event of Road Wild. Man, this match, this is like he just AI'd, like, what's a Luger Hogan match look like? It's felt just very paint by numbers here, and the finish left a lot to be desired, I thought. What are your thoughts on this main event here?
Michael Buffer in his stupid Harley hat itself is putting WCW into debt.
It's worth it though, right?
Well, not if you have 30 minutes left in the show at the introductions. Mind you, it was probably about 5 to 6 of those were Hulk Hogan coming down to the ring to Voodoo Child and Lex Luger's Biddle music. But this main event, like the rest of this show, felt longer than All In. Including the 0 hour.
Wrong.
Including the 0 hour, which broke the record that was set by WrestleMania 35. I know
I believe it.
I listened to your counter programming rant, and I'm with you 100% on that one.
Yeah.
But it felt like that. We had Hulk Hogan doing the Rizzler pose with the title or something. There was like a vignette, and he was doing I did that friggin' pose when I was.
That is the Rizzler. Yeah, I never thought about it. It's the same.
I have
deal.
pictures of myself when I'm like in my teens and early 20s where I'm just like trying to be, but Voodoo
Sexy.
Child get
It works.
Maybe. Voodoo Child though, get in. Like I love that entrance theme. Like I was a big NWO mark. I wanted to wear my NWO shirt for the occasion, but I could not find it. It might even have been tossed at some point. But speaking of loud selling, Lex Luger, OSW review. I love you guys. J Hunter V1 OOC, get in. You ruined Lex Luger with a ow, oh, ooh, ah. Like much like Mongo.
I've never noticed, but I feel like you just ruined him for me as well.
That'll be have you ever watched How I Met Your Mother?
It's been a while, but yes.
But the illusion shattered moment. So the glass just in your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a great episode. But
maybe Luger's just soft. Maybe he just feels pain more than most people. That's the lore behind him.
The lore horn. Aha! I was hoping we would get the lore alarm. Yes. Too bad this wasn't like the Kane is alive episode, because that would have been going off every 5 seconds, much like
chock full of lore. I mean that's just a
especially Journey into Darkness. My God, that book is crazy.
I've seen that video before.
The pace is all over the place here, and there's more NWO shenanigans, as is tradition. The NWO gets involved. You're gonna get everyone. You're gonna get everyone from Vincent up to Holland Nash, up to Nick Patrick.
Vicious and delicious
or delicious as well. And there's a Sting man. There's a man who's claiming to be Sting.
Sting, is it?
It's it might be either Sting wearing I have a Sting mask right there. I can't grab it. Wearing a paint under the Sting mask, best reveal ever, or it's the guy that All Japan has been portraying as Sting for the better part of the year. Jeff Farmer, that's it.
Not jumping Jeff Farmer, the other Jeff Farmer.
Yes. Yep. Him and I used to get him and Tom McGee all mixed up, but that's a different story. Yep.
Yes. I don't. First of all, I think everybody in the world except the commentary team knows that that's not Sting. He has completely different hair. Like it's not Sting.
Shorter. He's not as built, not as lean.
I think I think it might have been because I don't think Scott Hall was out there. So I think this might have been Scott Hall as Sting, perhaps. I didn't really get a good look at his body.
No, they didn't show too much of it. Yeah, that's how Hulk Hogan drops the leg, and we're back to Hogan must pose, pal. And
did he even drop the leg? His Sting just hit Luger with the bat in the back.
It was the bat, then it was the leg drop.
Okay.
And then it was the 1, 2, 3, and Dennis Rodman was there.
And he wasn't even out there at the ring, right? Because they just showed him backstage.
They were showing him backstage, celebrating with the champagne, and about to get the spray paint back out to do the title. Yeah.
Hey, baby, let me paint NWO back on that body. NWO.
As bikers throw rocks and bottles into the ring, and Scott Norton gets grazed by one, and he's making a beeline for the crowd, like he's ready to fight.
I do think it's funny though, because like this, it's a shitty match. It's a very boring match, and then a very lazy, abrupt finish with another fake Sting. They did the fake Sting thing with Kevin Nash at the previous pay-per-view. Now they're doing it again with God knows who else. Hogan gets a weird win out of nowhere. Luger, 5-day title reign. And I was laughing because Hogan, he immediately leaves and he's like putting his arms by his head like to like stop things getting thrown at him. But like if you watch it back, no one's throwing anything at him. So he's like, oh, brother. He's like protecting his head, but like nothing's coming at him. They're all throwing their shit at 6. I think he already has X-Pac heat. So don't know. But yeah, that's how we end the show here. The Steiners and Kurt Hennig, for some reason, comes out to help Lex Luger to the back. And
Kurt
then
Hennig would not have joined the NWO yet.
Right, but he's a heel, though, right? I guess maybe they don't subscribe to the all faces are friends and all heels are friends here.
Not quite. Like the NWO, like everyone hates the NWO. And that the 4 Horsemen are heels, but they don't ride with the New World Order.
That's a good point. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It then cuts to a disheveled commentary team. Tony Schiavone is like, oh, gosh darn it! Like we thought we got him, but now Hogan's champion again. If Hogan would have lost here, he would have just disappeared forever. But now he's the world champion. So I do like how they're selling the ramifications of this, and then they cut to NWO repainting NWO on the belts and just having a celebration, and that's pretty much how the show ends. So I don't know any other notes on that main event or anything surrounding it.
I thought there, as we said earlier, I think the biker and the vroom vroom aesthetic kind of took a lot from it. Like it was really distracting. You had a bunch of people in the crowd who didn't give a toss about wrestling for the most part. The attendance I got on the wiki was over 6,500. So maybe a small handful of those people were actual wrestling fans who were planted there for the show. Like I was watching, again, to shout out Wrestling Bios, I watched their review of this as a bit of a precursor before this show. And there's someone in the comment section who was there, and they were waiting in the hot sun all freaking day for the show. So you had some dedicated people there, then you had some acts there that they didn't care about, and some acts there that they did. Like this is peak WCW versus NWO. We would be seeing the contract signing for Sting versus Hogan in the coming weeks, where you see JJ Dillon in the ring and Sting, pointing the bat all over the crowd with all your Sting signs. 1 year build for a match that ended like, good Lord.
Yeah, no, it was a rough one. But 97s, and on the whole, it's been a pretty good year. So it was just kind of a bump in the road, some may say. But the question is, from a scale of 0 to 100, what do you think you would throw at Road Wild 1997?
You had a few decent in-ring matches. You had the Cruiserweight title. I thought Six and Flair had some moments. Vicious and Delicious. Whole lot of meat slapping majesty there. Oh, hello. Hello me again. Hello you again. Oh, hey, there's a story of a guy named Brady. There it is. I would give it a solid 68. Not quite 9.
68.
A 68. We're so broke, we only 68'd.
I think that's a bit generous. I mean, it's of course your opinion. I'm not going to say that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking more like in the 50s, maybe high 50s.
57?
57. So Sold Out got a 52.
Oh, it should be way Sold Out. No, Miss NWO puts that in the 50s.
You said that Road Wild is better than Sold Out?
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah.
Not by much. I would say 57,
yeah.
58.
I'm going to put preliminarily, I'm going to put 56. And then when I come back to it later, I'll see if it still tastes okay in my mouth. But we'll see. I like that. I like that. But what I would give a 100 out of a 100. It's the Fretzlemania podcast. Appreciate you once again, man, coming on the show, talking some old school wrestling. And I know you do quite a bit of that on your podcast. Where can everybody go, find you, taste you, stick their finger in your belly button and make you squeal like a man?
All the above.
Squeals.
You can follow me on the social medias. I'm like you. I'm not on Twitter a lot anymore myself. I'm just busy work. But I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, sometimes like rarely ever Threads, but at Fretzlemania, Fretzle Mania. I am found on Wrestle Addict Radio, the cure for the common wrestling podcast. Also home to the Young Lions Perspective, featuring Mr. YLP, Zachary Ruzikia. Your news of the week, your previews and predictions, and everything that he does. He's the Stephen A. Smith of our network, as he's known as. Mm-hmm. Brace for Impact, featuring good brother Nate the Effing Great, a man who's been on your show a couple of times for some TNA flavored goodness. He isn't recording shows at the moment that you're hearing this. There's good stuff going on. I will not divulge into that. I will let you all find out when everything envelops. But
orgies.
Nate's
too busy with orgies.
Mm-hmm. He's
Back
a busy.
40.
He is a busy man. He just got into the Eric Bischoff era, like the Monday Night Wars, before he had to take a step back. And of course, the Kings of the Rings, featuring our esteemed general manager King, Ricky Rose, Willie T, and Slagent K. And I believe they will be in attendance this coming Sunday at Slammiversary.
Okay. So that would have been in the past at this point, a couple days before this, but
yes,
check it out, people.
This is probably coming out.
Watched it yet?
Probably coming out on the 23rd, I imagine.
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay, and follow Wrestle Addict Radio on Twitter at addict_wrestle, Wrestle Addict Radio on Instagram. We have a merch store on fourthwall.com. If you check my socials, I have a link tree there with all of our stuff. We got a new merch store, actually. Got t-shirts and hoodies and, glassware and all that stuff in between. And in my podcast, Fretzlemania, I'm in the same era as Kyle is, at least in a couple of his timelines. I am about to drop, you will have already heard it, Monday Night Raw from June 30th, where we hear the origin, finally, of Kane. And I'm about to hit Canadian Stampede as well. I will have Nate on for that one. I had Matt Ritter for the King of the Ring 97 a little while ago, and that was
never heard of him.
Yeah, I recommend him. He smacks it raw.
Oh, that sounds a little vulgar for my taste. I don't like to have that kind of programming on my show.
Okay, I'll put a quarter in the swear jar right now. There we go.
Thank you. Well, we'll censor it out. There we go.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
I mean, I think Matt's kind of a, but that's just me.
You said it.
He can. I mean, I'll put my in his, but that doesn't stop from falling out of my. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. I would do exactly the same.
And get all of those off my island or whatever. I don't know. Fretz, why don't you take us out with your best motorcycle noise? Fuck. I was trying to highlight you, cocksucker. If it came back and hit out of it, where? All right, we'll just leave it like that. I'll be big, you'll be small.
Hey, like IRL. It's okay.
All right, come on now.
I'm a girl.
Right, that's perfect. That's once again, thank you to Fretz from the Fretzlemania podcast for joining me on this episode. Always a good time with old Jimmy Fretz. Go check him out at the Fretzlemania podcast. What else? What else is there to do? Hey, if you enjoyed that, by the way, I think I omitted this from the intro. If you like this era of wrestling, this 1997, just the kind of mid 90s into late 90s, Well, Daddy, we're covering it all, baby. I started from WrestleMania 10, and we have worked our way up for plus 3 years after that. WWF, WCW, and ECW. All of that chronologically. So if you like that sort of thing, covered every single show. So go to the link in the description to take you to apronbump.com. It's that timeline. Everything chronologically is laid out for you. Or, of course, you could search through whatever medium you're listening and or watching this on. So go check that out. It is always a good old time. Binge away if you have not already. And hey, let's hit that jingle, Bartholomew.
WCW, ECW, WWF, who's the hardest promotion? Eric or Vince or Paulie? I think we can agree, though. Heck, Myers is the shit.
Alrighty then. The hardest promotion battle of 1997 continues as of August 9th. What's the date here? Yeah, as of August 9th, 1997. Let's see which company between WWF, WCW, and ECW is the hardest currently in 1997. To recap, scores. WCW with 29, ECW with 25, WWF with 4. Let's see if there's any changes here. You got the overall scoreboard here. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm sharing my screen here so you can follow along visually. But if you're listening in audio land, I will talk you through it as well. First thing we got to do is grade the show from a scale of 0 to 100. So again, me and Fretz, we were discussing it a little bit, giving kind of a preliminary score here just to kind of sit on it. So I've sat on it for a few days. We were thinking like high 50s, mid 50s, maybe low 60s. I think 56 is what we kind of settled upon. Do I still agree with that? So Sold Out got a 52 from WCW, the first pay-per-view of 1997 for them. I think this was slightly better than Sold Out, but not much. Royal Rumble 97 got a 58. I think Rumble was better than this for sure. So it's between 52 and 58. I'm thinking like 55. I think 55 is good. Yeah. Third worst show of the year. So better than Sold Out. And In Your House 14, Revenge of the Taker. Yeah, that checks. Was this better than Revenge of the Taker, though? I don't know if it was. Do I throw like a 53 at it? I think I'm going to throw a 53 at it. I don't think this was better than Revenge of the Taker. Maybe slightly better. 54. 54 is where we're sitting. It's where we're sitting. Final answer. So what we do now is refresh this, and we see which company has the highest average grade so far. Currently, after this update, ECW has the highest average grade with a 75. They've only had 3-4 shows so far this year, but they're doing good. You know, they build them up for a while, but they hit them out of the park when they nail them. So ECW has the highest average grade with 75, and that's how it has been for a while now. So no change to the score in that respect. ECW maintains those 15 points for having the highest average score. So now we move on with some more overall kind of criteria here. Who has the best TV right now? Just overall, just in general, the best TV product. So not the pay-per-views. We're tracking WCW as the best. I think so, yeah. Especially after that killer Nitro that we did the watch along on. Lex Luger beating Hogan. I mean, they're red hot on Nitro. Does it always translate to the pay-per-views? Not necessarily. But I will say that it's better than Raw. It's better than Hardcore TV from ECW. So WCW maintains these 15 points. Who has the best in-ring product is the next question. Just general best in-ring. So we're tracking WCW. This show didn't do much favors for that. Although, the in-ring work was fine. It was just a kind of a bland atmosphere. A lot of it. That's just kind of what hurt a lot of this show. WWF. I don't think a lot has changed since we last looked at this, is the thing. WCW, they just have the most diverse. They have cruiserweights. They have guys that can hit in the main event. I think WCW holds on to this. So they maintain those 10 points. Best out of ring. We're tracking WCW as the best. Yeah. Again, WWF, they have Stone Cold. They have like all the gang warfare stuff, which isn't really good at this point in time. I guess we'll leave it as WCW because WCW, they have the Horseman stuff. They have NWO and all the branches from that. You got the cruiserweight stuff. Yeah. Again, just kind of more top to bottom, just a more well-rounded kind of set of storylines and characters, more so than WWF and ECW. So they maintain those 10 points. All right. So now we move on to the best section. So all of these are the best so far of 1997. Best match of the year, we're tracking Brett and Austin from WrestleMania. Yeah, nothing on this show. Or, I mean, you could argue like a Luger and Hogan just for the moment, but no. But that might be something else here. So put a pin in that. But as far as best match of the year, yeah, Brett and Austin from WrestleMania is still the best. So WWF holds on to those 5 points. Best wrestler of the year, we're tracking Stone Cold. Yeah, like I've mentioned in previous episodes, it's between him and DDP and Taz, I guess. And DDP didn't have a great. I mean, it wasn't a bad showing from DDP. It wasn't enough to kind of like put him over the edge in terms of best here. So Stone Cold holds on to this. So WWF keeps those 5 points for now. Best character / storyline. We're tracking Taz and that whole feud with Bill Alfonso and Jerry Lawler and all that stuff. Best character / storyline. Lex Luger as a character, Sting as a character could be this. The Horseman, no, not the Horseman stuff. Yeah. I mean, you could just throw NWO here, but I don't think there's a lot of bad with the NWO as well as the thing. Like it, undoubtedly. NWO was red hot at this point, but if we're being honest about the stories and the characters, like not a lot of progression since the beginning. In my opinion, like the Steiners and Outsiders thing has just been dragging. Hogan is kind of a one hit, like just a one note kind of guy. This was a fun little, the switching of titles with Luger was a fun little element here, but ultimately I think Taz is just such more of a dynamic character, and the stuff that they're doing with like Jerry Lawler and Jim Cornette, and it's all very fun and out of the box, translates to the matches, great segments, great moments, great promos, just all around. I think it's just more just dense with quality than anything else going on right now. So ECW holds on to that for now. Best segment of the year. Tracking Jerry Lawler versus WrestlePalooza, or Jerry Lawler's debut at WrestlePalooza. Now you can throw, Luger winning the title it's a match. It's not really a segment, but you can call like the celebration the segment, I guess, if you wanted to. No, I don't think so. I think Jerry Lawler holds on to this. So ECW keeps those 5 points. Again, if anybody disagrees with these, or if there's something that I may be forgetting or overlooking, leave a comment or hit me up. Join the Discord. Let's talk about it, because I'm all ears. And we will take another look at this at the end of the year just to make sure we're grasping everything. But so now we move on to the worst section. So worst match wrestler, character, segment, all that stuff. So the worst match of the year so far, we're tracking Undertaker versus Sid from WrestleMania 13. Man. Let me pull up my notes here. That Rey Mysterio Conan match made me really mad watching it. But I just feel it doesn't feel right to give worst match of the year to Rey Mysterio. And I mean, because I've said this before, with worst match, best match, or really any of these things, the magnitude of it plays a part. Meaning, like, are there worse matches than Undertaker versus Sid? Probably. But that was the main event of WrestleMania. So that just like, it's like a multiplier of sorts. Like, it was not only a really bad match, but it was a bad match under the most important situation. Like in a situation where you need to have a good match. Conan versus Rey Mysterio. It's what second match on the card. It's kind of a throwaway match. This whole show, for being honest, is kind of a throwaway show. So like, I don't know. It was a very bad match. Maybe even worse than Taker versus Sid, but the fact that Taker and Sid was at WrestleMania, I think, edges it out, if that makes any sense. Looking at, I mean, there was a lot of bad matches on this show. The Horseman tag was pretty bad. The main event was the main event honestly wasn't even like that bad. It was just very boring and kind of plain, very template. But yeah, nothing worse than Taker versus Sid, in my opinion here. So WWF keeps those -3 points. Worst wrestler of the year. All right. We're tracking Prince Iaukea from WCW. Haven't seen the Prince in a while. He's been on Nitro. He's popped up a little bit, but he's kind of he's very much in the background nowadays. And again, talking about magnitude. To be the worst wrestler, you have to have a big impact on the year. Worst wrestler of the entire year of 1997. You have to have a big impact. I just don't know if his impact was big enough to be the worst wrestler of the year. Do we throw Hogan here? I just don't know if I can because, it doesn't age well. It's very corny and hokey, but it's working. You know what I mean? Like it's working in 1997. So I can't in good conscience put him as the worst of 1997 because he's getting a reaction. But who else here? I'm just looking at my notes to see if anybody else is kind of in the running. Jeff Jarrett now, he's had some good stuff. Conan, again, he's had some good showings. Yeah, no one else jumps out at me as the worst. You can throw no one's, there's a couple not great guys. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at this show. This show is an outlier, is the thing. There's a lot of bad matches on this show, but they come from guys that generally have pretty good matches. So if we're talking about the entirety of 1997, I just don't think anyone on this show kind of deserves to be here. I feel like ultimately it's going to be somebody from WWF or ECW, but we're not quite there yet. We'll leave Prince Iaukea there for now, but I doubt he'll be here by the end of this, is what I'm saying. So WCW keeps those -3 points. Worst character / storyline. The whole Honky Tonk Man, Rockabilly, Jesse James thing. Another thing that kind of just came and went, at least in terms of Jesse James. Rockabilly is still going with Honky Tonk Man, so that's not totally over. Over as in it's not done yet, but it's also not over with the crowd. Let's see here. What else? What from WCW could be worse than this? The Steiners, Outsider stuff is kind of tedious and it's annoying. Let's see here. Anything from the NWO? Vincent. Oh man, the Jeff Jarrett and Mongo stuff. Some of that's been good though. Deborah. You could easily throw Deborah in here if you wanted to. Yeah, I don't think nothing jumps out at me again that is worse than the Honky Tonk Man stuff. So we'll leave that at -3 for WWF. Last but not least, or maybe it is the least, worst segment of 1997. We're tracking Miss NWO. From WCW, sold out. Again, nothing is knocking this off the pedestal, I don't think. Nothing from this show was worse than that. Nothing in the lead up to Road Wild was worse than Miss NWO. So we'll leave that there. WCW keeps those -3 points. And that being said, no changes. This is kind of held strong for the past couple episodes. So we're getting to that point, man. August. We're in the third trimester. Trimester? No, it wouldn't be a trimester. Do years have trimester? I guess that'd be 4 months, right? So yeah, I guess we're in the third trimester of 1997, I think. I don't know. No, I think we're in the second. Who knows? Call in if you know. But yeah, that about does it here. Same score. WCW still in the lead, but man, fall of 1997, we got a lot of stuff happening. We got Starrcade. We got Montreal Survivor Series. ECW, I'm not as familiar on what the rest of the year holds for us, but that's the fun of it, baby. So stay tuned. We'll see where we're at by the end of the year. But that's about all Daddy has for you guys today. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Always appreciate the support. Appreciate you watching, listening, tasting, tickling me under the chin. So with that, I love you. I'll leave you. Appreciate you. Mwah.
Yeah.
I'm hard.
And the hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can I guess. Let's get it started. It's the hardest, talk around and disregard it. Strip you off the ground, show you what heart is. Standing strong and proud, nothing can I guess. Let's get it started.